friends, this is Spa Guy. What we're going to talk about today is XP2 and XP2e wet ends. XP2s can either be 48 or 56. XP2es are generally 56 only. I will show you how to figure that out. Stay tuned, and we're going to talk about how to get replacement parts for XP2 and XP2e Aqua Flo wet ends. Stay tuned, friends. So friends, on an XP2, it can be a 48 or a 56, and the way you would tell if it's a 48 is if you measure across between the pins, it's going to measure between the what I would call the through bolts. It's going to measure right at just a hair less than 3 3/4. If you measure crossways, it'll be just a hair less than 5 1/8. If it is a 56 frame, and that's the biggest difference. The other thing is a 48 is going to have normally 1/4 inch heads, bolt heads. A 56 is going to have 5/16 bolt heads. Center to center is going to be about 4 1/8 on a 56. If you go that way, if you go crossways, it's going to be about 5 and just a hair more than 3/4. So a little more than 5 3/4. 4 1/8 on a 56. On a 48, it is going to be 3 5/8 center to center, just a hair less than 3 3/4, between 5/8 and 3/4. And if you go this way, it will be 5 and just a hair more than 5 1/8. They're both generally going to be 2 inch by 2 inch, which actually measures 3 inches. So if you measure across the threads, it's about 3 inches outside to outside on both of them, and that's what we call a 2 inch fitting. Now, to figure out which impeller you need, there's a couple of things. One thing is the old impellers, a lot of times if you take them off, will have a number. This one doesn't have it, but they'll actually have a part number written on the back of the impeller. That's a very good telltale. The next thing is on a XP2, the first thing you do is you measure the eye. That is a clue. There's 3 measurements: 2 1/8, 2 3/8, 2 5/8. If it is 2 3/8, if you measure the eye, or you could even measure the inside of the wear ring. If you measure that, that is 2 3/8. If you look inside there, that slips over the eye. If you have this one, there's only one choice. That part number is a HTP 35-402-1435. That is the only choice. If you have 2 3/8, one choice. HTP 35-402-1435. You go to my website, go to the search bar at the top in the middle, put that part number in, it will bring this impeller up. So that one is simple. If you have a 2 1/8, you've got to know some other dimensions. So that's 2 1/8. Another dimension would be the vane width. So if you go here, now I'm using a measuring tape that has this little doolally on it, which will throw you off if you're measuring small stuff. This one measures right at 3/8 inches, and that's in between these two. Another measurement would be the outside of it is 5/8. So it's 3/8 from the inside to inside, 5/8 outside to outside. So you can go to the website, do it by amperage first. This particular one would be considered a 2 horsepower. So if it was a 230 volt pump, you would have about 10 amps, 10 to 11. So that's one way that you can break it down. You go 10 amps, 10 to 11, and then you go to the impellers that fit that. You look at the eye width, you know that it's an XP2. If you put the eye width, I'm going to actually put it on the descriptions up in the titles. So this one will be 2 1/8, and then you do your measurements. You can go down, there'll be a chart at the bottom, 2 3/8 vane width, 5/8 overall width, and that will tell you which one is the correct one. That's an XP2. So now, friends, we're going to talk about the XP2e if you measure across the eye, it's going to be 2 5/8 across the eye. So if you measure across the eye, you definitely have an XP2e. Now this particular one has a 2 horsepower actually written right there. See if we can get the light right. You see it says 2200 2 HP. So if you see that, you go to the 2 horsepower XP2e and you know you're getting the right thing. But my point here is you can start narrowing it down by the eye width. XP2, 2 1/8. 2 3/8 is only one part number. 2 5/8 is definitely a P. So same thing here. Then you're going to start measuring vane width, which this is a 2 horsepower. This one is 3/8 vane width. It's 5/8 overall. And then you measure the distance around. These are going to be more of how big around it is. This one looks like it's about 4 inches. So you'll look at it from there. So on an XP2e, use your part number that's written on here. This measurement, vane width, overall width, and then the width from here to here, which is hard to measure with a tape measure. You have to almost eyeball it. And those measurements are in the description at the very bottom. There'll be a chart that has all those measurements in it. Same thing with the XP2 with the 2 1/8 inch eye. But as I mentioned, if you have the 2 3/8 inch eye, which that's the way it's supposed to go on right there, then you have only one choice. So it's this choice. Now let's look inside of an XP2e. I want you to see what it looks like inside so you'll know kind of what you're looking for, kind of how it works. You pull the face off. That's what the back of the face looks like. And you see it even says XP2 right inside there. You see that? Get the reflection. You pull this out and you see the wear ring is on the correct way with the crown out. You got that part. Then you have a seal right here and you've got a seal back there. This is going to be a 200 seal. So if you look down in the description, you'll see where I've got kits, links to kits for the 200 seal. We offer the 200 seal by itself. We offer it with silicone with an install tool. We offer it with a single bearing. We offer it with a double bearing. So if you're doing a rebuild, then you have all those options right there. We try to make it easy, try to make it kits. And I may even at some point put complete kits where we offer the impeller with the seal, with the bearing and that kind of stuff, or at least the impeller with the seal. So there you have it, friends. That is how you figure out how to get an impeller for an XP2e or an XP2. And that is it. Remember, measure the eye width first and then choose the, and you can even put in the website, in the search column, put XP2 in there. And it'll pull up all the parts that are related to XP2s and XP2es. If you have an XP2e, put XP2e in there. But if you just put XP2, it'll bring them all up, and then you start searching through the eye widths. You can even put XP2 2 1/8 inch, and that will pull up a bank of things that fit that. That's how you search it on Hot Tub Parts of America. I am the spa guy. I don't know much, but I do know hot tubs. Click the banner above my head to go to the website, and it will take you to all the XP2 stuff, and buy today with confidence.